Well, good afternoon to all our Facebook followers. Thank you so much for joining us live on which is a sunny afternoon here in the city of Danville. Rick Drazenovich, our Director of Public Works, is joining us because many of you are aware we are expecting some snow to come into the area tomorrow. And of course, Rick and his crews are now out and about preparing for that. So we just wanted to give you an update on what our crews are doing here in the city to prepare. And you know, when we first saw the maps for this, Rick, it looked like we might even get 10 inches of snow. Now, I know that's changed. I know the numbers are falling a little bit, but really doesn't change how you all are preparing for the storm. So tell us a little bit about what we're doing for that.
No, we prepare for a large storm about the same as we do a lighter storm. Yeah, it started at 10 inches, and they've been reducing it every day, all weekend long, and the latest looks like 1 to 3. Okay. So it may be a repeat of the first storm we had this year. Our crews are putting out the brine all day today. They'll be finished this evening. And all of our trucks are mounted and the spreaders are mounted and ready to go. It looks like it's going to be a daytime storm, so there's not going to be anybody over on duty overnight. Okay. They'll report regular time tomorrow. And the first snowfall calls for it to be about 8 o'clock, but that usually don't reach the ground. Mm-hmm. So I think we're looking at the snow starting maybe 10 or 11. Okay. And it'll go through to 10 or 11 on Thursday morning. Right.
So again, as Rick mentioned, their preparations really don't change. Whether we're going to get a foot of snow or 1 or 2 inches, they really do a great job of brining those main thoroughfares here in the city of Danville. And I know many of our viewers here on River City TV that kind of follow us around when we show the great job that Public Works does during these storms with clearing the roads. That brine solution does wonders when it comes to naturally taking care of the snow on those main thoroughfares.
Yeah, it does. It keeps it from freezing up early in the storm, and then later in the storm when we're plowing, it allows us to plow down to bare pavement easier.
Yeah, and we're going to be experiencing some cold temperatures. I know highs in the upper 20s over the next couple of days, so the snow is going to stick around for a while.
Yeah, that's really the problem of even a small snow. By the time we get off the primaries and into the residentials, they're usually compacted by the tires, and so we need a little help from Mother Nature to melt it off. But it looks like it's going to go below freezing this evening, about 10 o'clock, and it's really not going to get above freezing, even the highs, until Friday sometime. Yeah. Except for a couple hours on the middle of Thursday, it gets up to 34. So whatever's down at the end of the storm that we don't get plowed up in the first 24 hours, it's going to stay until we get a little help from the temperature.
Yeah, and so what do you all do during that time? Once we make that first pass, once we get into the residentials, of course, Public Works does not go into residentials until the storm has 24 hours passed the time that the snow has stopped.
Right.
So then we go into residentials, we make that pass, but like you said, if the temperatures are cold, it really gets tough when it gets 20, 25 degrees to even plow snow at that point.
Sure.
So y'all are putting sand down at that point.
Yeah, the
right?
plows are ineffective. They bump over the top of it. It's kind of like shoveling your driveway. If you've run on it, you got to get out there with an ice chipper practically to get it off. The snow shovel's not going to do it. The plows don't have any downward pressure on them like a grader might have. So they bump over the top, and we concentrate on throwing a little salt where we have icy areas and a little sand where we need traction until it loosens up enough for our plows to plow it off. Very good. But even that's a problem if it stays until Friday and it loosens up Friday. We really can't send the plows back to plow it off, because you know what happens if we go back 3 days later and plow it?
What's that?
It goes in everybody's driveway that they've already shoveled. So it's a no-win situation, and we try and split the difference. We do some plowing and a lot of sanding.
Very good. Well, again, brine solution is being laid down as we speak here in the city of Danville on all those major thoroughfares, bridges, and overpasses. Again, it does look like the snow is going to be coming a little later in the day, as Rick mentioned, probably around 10, 11, maybe even noontime on some reports on when we'll actually start seeing the snow. So crews will already be on standby. They will start plowing those main thoroughfares once they get about an inch on the road, right? They start plowing those main thoroughfares, and then once the storm stops, it'll be 24 hours before we get into residential.
It's a little less than that. We have to make our last pass on our primaries and move back the edges, and then we hit the collectors again. So it's usually between probably 6 to 7 hours before we get onto that.
Right.
But the storm looks like it's going to be intermittent. There's going to be some gaps in this storm.
Okay.
It may be heavy at times, and then it may be stopped and then come back. And every time the snow starts back up, we've got to hit all the primaries again, because it'll cover them back up.
Yeah, so the main thing is to stress is they don't go into those residentials until the storm has completely passed. So, and then what is it, about 24, 36 hours before we hit every residential street?
Yeah, if it's plowable.
Yeah.
It takes us about 36 hours to get through all the streets. We've got 700 lane miles to hit, and we've got 22 plows that are operating currently, so it takes a little while to get through them.
Very good. And as you can see right here behind us, the plows are ready to roll as soon as Mother Nature says the snow has arrived. So you can see one of the brine tankers right there behind us filling up now as we speak. So Rick, appreciate you taking the time to join us today. Anything we can talk to the public about? We don't really touch on this when we talk to you about when our plows are in our neighborhoods and, you know, keeping the public works crews safe. Give them plenty of room to work. Anything they can do, our residents, to kind of help make that job a little easier for them?
Yeah, there's a few things. We see a lot of people pull their cars out of their driveways and put it up on a narrow road. Okay. And when that happens, the plow has got to go out around that, and it leaves a berm where that car is, a berm of snow. And we can't really get back to all the cars that are left on the road. So the road may be otherwise clear, but somebody parked their pickup truck or their SUV out there trying to get an early start or get out of a steep driveway.
Yeah.
And then there's a big berm of snow sitting in the middle of a neighborhood street.
Okay, so if you can get your vehicles into your driveway, out off the street, because that makes it a lot easier for our crews to get through.
It sure does. And some of the streets are very tight.
Yes.
The plow barely fits up through there, so with those cars there, it makes it a delicate operation to get through.
Yeah, it is a delicate operation. I've been out on those plows with Rick and his crews before, and it can get very tight on some of these streets here in the city of Danville. So anything you all can do to help them out would be greatly appreciated as the storm approaches. So move those cars into your driveway as you can. Well, Rick, appreciate you taking the time to join us today. I'm sure we'll touch base with you throughout the storm, just giving our viewers an update on the road conditions here in the city of Danville. You and your crews always do a wonderful job clearing these roads as quickly as possible to make traveling safe here in our city.
Thank you.
All right, and thanks to all our River City TV followers. We'll be seeing you soon.